the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing while the Honorable Gabriel Reese gives our invocation.
Almighty God, we acknowledge that you will hold us to account for the way we legislate and administer the affairs of this township and its fine people. We pray for your guidance as we do so. We pray that you would find us protecting the rights of all at all times, that our community and this nation will fulfill all of your purposes. Amen.
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 Clerk Sanders, please take the roll.
Treasurer Kavanaugh? Here. Clerk Sanders here. Trustee Jackson?
Here.
Trustee Reese?
Here.
Trustee Taylor?
Here.
Trustee King?
Here.
Supervisor McCray?
Here, quorum is present. All right. Next is the approval of the agenda.
To the chair,
Trustee Taylor,
I move that we approve the agenda.
Support.
supported by Clerk Sanders. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next, we have citizen comments. First, we have Jennifer Mansfield.
I'm up first.
You're up first.
Did you know? I feel like I've been thrown under the boat of my public director's back there. Good evening, Honorable Board. How are you?
Good.
Tonight, I am here to remind everybody that this Saturday is our National Night Out, which is very exciting. You get police officers, firefighters, community organizations, schools, churches, you name it. And we're all going to be over at the community center. And, you know, bring the family out. It's a free event. We'll have food. Kids get to play games. We've added the Wayne County Mounted Unit, so if you've never met the horses, come on out. You may even see a familiar face on one of those horses. Not it. I'll ride it, but they're not going to let me. But I'm just saying.
Another face.
Yeah, a different face. But no, seriously, it is a totally free event. We love to interact with you guys. If there's a back-to-school theme, so there's going to be tons of fun for the kiddos and for the families, so please come out. And just one last push, we have our Citizens Academy starting up again in September. So it's running on Thursday nights. So for those of you that are interested in learning more about not just law enforcement in general, but Redford PD with a lot of hands-on experiences, by all means go to the website. The application process is right there. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Michelle Mancini.
Good evening, everyone. I just wanted to let everyone know about a couple things we have going on right now in the DDA. We just launched a game, a bingo game that's going to run the month of August. You can get your game cards online on either Facebook or on the township website. There's some pages in the back that talk about it. We have businesses that have donated prizes, some really cool prizes. And when you complete a bingo that's on the card, you upload your proof and pictures online. It's real easy, and we'll take 10 winners at random that can pick from the prizes. The first person to complete all the items on the bingo card, a coverall, will win a $250 prize from the DDA, which is about 5 different gift cards for different businesses. Also, again, in the back of the room and on our Facebook and township website, we are selling banners for the DDA for veterans. They will be hung the month of November. Right now, we have about 18 spots left available, and the deadline for ordering is August 22nd. We also have a second program for sponsorship. So if you want to honor a veteran, but you don't have one in mind, you can sponsor a banner, and then we can find a veteran to honor and place for you. And then we will advertise your sponsorship online, but not on the banner. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Michelle. Departmental report, Director Bonrak. This is supposed to be in the 2026 first quarter budget review.
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. Good evening, Honorable Board of Trustees. It's great to see you this evening. In your packets was a memo from me and a comparison report of our budget versus the first quarter of fiscal year 26 and the first quarter of fiscal year 25. I also sent it out to you again yesterday in a little bit larger font, as the version that I had sent to the clerk's office was the incorrect version. I'm sorry about that. So I was ready for you to say something.
I had cataract surgery, I can see.
Oh. So we are in good shape, as we usually are at this time of the year. I do just want to highlight, as I did in the memo, and just remind everyone again that even though we're 25% of the way through the year, we are not. That does not necessarily mean that our expenses are 25% of the way done, nor does it mean our revenue has been 25% of the way received. And I think if you look at the items that I highlighted in orange, I always want to talk about, for example, in the revenue, we've only received less than 1% of our property tax revenue projections for this year. And that's because we only receive property taxes twice a year. We receive the overwhelming majority of it in the fourth quarter when people pay their winter tax bill. And we receive a much smaller portion, usually in May or June, and it just means that it hasn't been reconciled yet. That's why it hasn't posted yet here for the records. And that is the money that was the delinquent taxes that was turned over to Wayne County. That's the only two times we receive property taxes. And so as we've talked about every year, that's part of why it is so important that we maintain a healthy fund balance, because the majority of our budget is paid for through property taxes, and we don't receive those property taxes until 10, 11, and 12 months into our budget year. And so that's a perfect example right there that property taxes at this point, it looks like we have received very little because we have not yet assessed winter taxes. Other than that, the other areas that I think are always interesting to note, like for example, you have some departments, like the Board of Review, they're already 60% of their way done because the majority of their work happened in April and May with the appeal process, right? So they're already pretty much done. But then you have other departments that are just getting started. So I don't find myself concerned by whether or not I see it being 25% per se. I really look more to see how does it look compared to the year prior and what stands out to me. And this time around, there's only a couple things that stand out. One is that last year we were the recipient of a very large grant through FEMA for the fire department. We were the fiduciary for 6 different fire departments. And so that's why in the fire department that number last year was so much larger, because we had purchased all the equipment at that time. This year's number is what I would expect it to be. We, in the recreation and parks, senior citizens, all of those categories right now, as we are transitioning and creating the new fund for the recreation center, we are moving things around, and that's an imperfect process, so that is still being kind of cleaned up right now as we move towards the official launch date in the next few months. That's the only reason why those numbers look. There's nothing budgeted there, but there's expenses that have posted there. That's because in past years, that's where the expenses would have posted. And like I said, it's not a perfect process as we move things over to where they should be in the new budgeting system. Other than that, I don't have any concerns about the actual budget expenses, but I do want to go back and talk about my memo for a moment. Does anybody have any questions about the budget?
To the chair.
Trustee Jackson.
Just the one question about police and fire. I know that we don't expect a perfect 25% since it's one quarter, but I was actually surprised that those two were so low. One was 9.1% and the other one was 14.1%. And I know that we're not fully staffed, but I would have expected overtime to make up for the lack of
Sure.
salaries.
There's really a couple different things that are going on there. One is those departments have heavy capital expenses that get posted in big chunks, and that hasn't happened yet. So those expenses don't, so the debt payment for the North End Fire Station, purchasing new vehicles, those things, they all happen in one chunk, and it just hasn't happened yet. And that's a significant portion of those department budgets. The other thing is that, yes, you're right, overtime is always really high, but we'll see that show up in the second quarter report because it's really the months of June, July, August that are really high, which for us is second quarter, not first. So we'll see that number go up there. If you were to run a line item budget within the police and fire departments, I think you would find that wages and personnel are very much close to 25%. It's just because of all these
Other
others.
things, okay, got it. Thank you.
All right, going then to my memo, I included in it because a couple of you have asked me for a synopsis of all of our ARPA spending over the last 4.5 years. And I know for some of you that you may not have ever actually seen that because you weren't necessarily on the board when we first adopted all of those various projects. But at this stage in the game, we have fully expended or obligated all of our ARPA funds. We're still required to file quarterly reports with Treasury right now, but they are much simpler because they usually just reflect a zero. There was no activity because we're done. But and I hope you can see the same. I mean, it took me a page and a half to list out all of the various things that the township was able to accomplish with those funds over the last 4 years. And I just wanted to make sure you had that information that kind of summarized all of the ARPA grant projects and make sure there weren't any questions.
What I'd like to say is that I think that there was a lot of work that went into making sure that we spent the money properly and spread it out the way we did to get the most out of every dollar that we had.
Yeah, I think one of the areas that most stands out for me for that is the overhead administration. We were allowed to spend up to 10% there, and we only spent 3%.
Yeah.
So that really highlights the fact that we were trying to make sure we put every penny we could into projects and not into overhead.
Right.
So, all right. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
To the chair? Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Treasurer Kavanaugh.
No question. No, I truly appreciate that because, we talked about it and I really like to see it, how it all panned out and stuff, especially for the new trustees and stuff, to see it from beginning to end as far as how much we spent.
Sure.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you, Director. All right, next we're going to the public hearing regarding the proposed amendment to the Redford Township Downtown Development Plan and Tax Increment Financing TIF Plan. We need a motion to open the public hearing.
To the chair,
Trustee Jackson,
I move that we open the public hearing.
Support.
support by Treasurer Kavanaugh. Any questions? Okay, let's go.
All right. Good evening, Mr. Supervisor, Honorable Board. The purpose of this public hearing is to allow the opportunity for interested parties and residents to comment on the proposed amendment to our DDA plan and TIF plan. To briefly explain, this is an amendment to the current plan, but it wasn't done specifically for the goal of making change. It was done out of necessity. The DDA and TIF plan that was originally adopted in 1982 has been amended 4 times. This is the 5th time. The DDA and TIF plans are set for a specific period, and as the previous amendment from 2006 is set to expire, we have to have this one in place prior to its expiration in order for the DDA to continue its existence. We did not change any boundaries in this plan, just updated expected funding recaptures and proposed a list of potential projects in the DDA. We placed as many potential projects as possible into the plan and did so in somewhat of a vague manner because only projects defined within the plan can be paid for with DDA funding. This is not to say that we will be able to do all the projects, but in case funding increases, we wanted to list as many options in this 30-year proposed plan. Of course, if we find the need, we can make amendments to this plan in the future at any time. This amendment has been prepared with the assistance of our consultant, Jason Smith from Wade Trim, who has worked with our DDA board to create the amendment that is before you for public comment. In November of 2024, the DDA board was presented and approved a proposal for the services of Wade Trim in preparation of this process. The process kicked off in February of 2025 with the DDA board brainstorming session of ideas and wishes for our downtown district. The final draft copy of the amendment was presented to the DDA board at a meeting in June, and it was voted for recommendation to be presented to the township board for approval. Per state requirements, the notice for the hearing was posted in the News and Free Press on both July 19th and 26th, posted in 20 locations throughout the DDA, as well as mailed to every taxpayer within the DDA boundaries. Additionally, a letter was sent to all the taxing jurisdictions impacted by the recapture of funds. Mr. Smith is also here to provide further insight and to assist me with responses for any questions from the board or the residents.
Thank you.
You gonna talk now?
She covered a lot of it, but
Okay, please, Jason.
yeah, I just wanted to bring more specifically, Director Mancini mentioned that this was out of necessity, updating this plan, and more specifically, necessity meaning without this plan, the DDA would cease to exist. So this is the expiration year for our current plan. We do have this new plan, we're calling it amendment. We're really just kind of, it's more of an extension, I guess, would probably be more accurate, to go up through 2056. So in theory, might be the only time we have to do this. We'll see how that goes.
I think it's more than fair.
Yeah. But the purpose of the DDA is to halt property value deterioration, to increase property tax valuation, eliminate the causes of deterioration, promote economic growth, and to create and provide for the operation of the DDA. So these are the purposes of the DDA. It's a slightly separate entity from the township itself. We're operating with around $130,000 in revenue. We provided in the plan some projections. Even when you look over a 30-year period with the increase of tax revenue over 30 years and inflation, that really only gets us about double that number. So the idea of the DDA is we want to invest in the DDA to help improve property value and bring development into the DDA. So that way it would increase our tax value even more. That would allow the DDA to capture more funds and do more meaningful projects. We have listed out here in the plan some specific, but mostly general project types that revolve around development and land use in the DDA, public spaces and streetscapes in the DDA, improved transportation and connectivity in the DDA, infrastructure and public service projects, and economic growth and business support. Now, these are all things that are outlined in the previous plan as well. We are keeping those in the new plan. Basically, if it's not in the plan, the DDA funds can't fund it. Now, when you hear $130,000, we all know that doesn't go very far. So what's also very important, and what we've done here in the past at the township and the DDA, and a very good job, I'll say, is seeking other types of funding to do projects. So that's also going to be an important element of this plan, not just the revenues that are brought in, but also seeking out additional resources. That could be something like an ARPA that comes along, or state grants, or other grants that come in, other federal grants that come into the township. So when those opportunities do come, we'll have this plan to look to and say, oh, we have an opportunity to do streetscaping. We've identified that in the plan as a possible project, so we're okay to leverage DDA funds along with other resources to do those. And these projects aren't something Michelle and I came up with. This was through a brainstorming session with the DDA, and it came to an agreement that these were things they wanted to continue to focus on. Yes, of course. And in coordination with the master plan, this is an important element of this plan. Re-envision Redford, which was adopted in January of last year, heavily influenced some of the details within this DDA plan. It is important that our comprehensive plan here at the township does touch all the other different plans that we're doing. Otherwise, we're kind of all doing individual things and we're kind of scrambled. So we want to have a coordinated effort in that. We have a lot of tables in this plan. Maybe you went a little cross-eyed looking at them. Now, these are just projections. I want to just state that. These are required elements of this plan. The State Act provides us an outline of what we need to provide you within these plans. We made some assumptions based on inflation, a 2.5% inflation over the course of 30 years. We made some assumption on some tax increases. We had to be careful with who we included within our jurisdictions or taxing jurisdictions. Actually, one thing we learned is that within the DDA that we no longer capture funds for the library millage from the DDA. That was included in the last plan. We actually had to eliminate that in this plan. There's an act, won't get into all the details, a state act in 2015 that exempted them. So that's a further hit to our revenue in the DDA, but nonetheless, we did have to make some adjustments to those tax capture tables because there were some entities that became exempt based on that state act. There is some requirements within the state act that and I wanted to bring this up because it's important, that if you have more than 100 residents within your DDA, that a citizen commission should be started with with individuals and residents that live in the DDA. We do not have more than 100. I counted rooftops. We do not have more than 100. It's more like 20 residents. So we were able to be exempt from that requirement to create that citizen commission. So moving forward, we have before you today our DDA plan. This does need to be adopted by ordinance. I understand the township has 2 readings for ordinances, but once we get through this process, then we'll be complete, and then we'll be able to continue doing the great work that the DDA does.
Okay, I guess for those that don't have the map, you can give it a general idea of what the boundary lines are for the DDA.
Yeah, so 5 Mile and Beach is the kind of the center point of our DDA. It goes east to Telegraph Road, west about 6 or 7 blocks, and then it doesn't extend quite as far on Beach Daily, about 4 or 5 blocks north and south of Beach Daily. Actually, we're currently sitting in the DDA right now. I'm standing, you're sitting.
Some are sitting, right?
Yeah.
Questions from the board?
To the chair.
Trustee Reeves?
One of the things, so noting, yes, our funds are limited, and I know you said these are kind of catch-all buckets to give us flexibility. One of the things I'm curious about, knowing that our funds are limited and trying to figure out in the future, other than just grants, how we can kind of make them go farther, do we have the ability to, like, and I'm probably not going to use the right word, but basically grant funds to things like community service organizations or committees, like if we have the Beautification Commission, like, I guess I'm curious how we can find community service-based organizations or volunteers and partner with those kinds of things to do more. Even when I walk, I live right behind, I'm just south of 5 Mile, east of Beach, and I'll go for walks through the DDA just to check it out pretty frequently. And there's just a lot of areas where you go, oh, this business isn't maintaining the area in front of their store, but it's a lot of work, right? It's a lot of work to clean the sidewalk for that whole area. But it's those small details, I think, that make a big difference, whether you feel like this is a downtown community or just sort of a facade on a thoroughfare. So I guess I'm adding a lot of color commentary, but do we have that ability in this plan to do things like that, partner with organizations and fund them to do those kinds of initiatives like cleanups or?
Well, the maintenance in the DDA on the right-of-way area is done through funding through the DDA. We do have the Beautification Commission. They do a lot of work out here in the parking lot and the different, flower beds and around the marquee. We would never tell anybody they can't volunteer to clean up our community and help us out. We do have, in the past, we've sent, notices out in the spring to the various businesses in the DDA just to remind them, hey, we're going to be maintaining the right-of-way area. Just a reminder, maintain the part of your property that's yours. Sometimes that goes over well, sometimes it doesn't, but I don't think it's a bad reminder. But as far as using our funds necessarily to partner with organizations, I just don't think there's enough funds to do that. It would just have to be something where we could partner as like a volunteer.
Maybe I can, what I mean is like, so we do the mulch and we do some basic landscaping, but again, like when I walk down the street, there's glass, there's rubber bits from car tires, there's just that general sense of like, nobody's using this sidewalk. There isn't foot traffic and commerce going on here. And so it's more of a, hey, can we support a Let's Clean Up Redford Day if Beautification Committee were leading that charge and we're buying, I don't know, do we have that, like, could we buy donuts and coffee from Donut Town and work to promote on Facebook? Like, the more that we can use the limited funds we have, I think, to drive engagement with these other volunteer organizations, I just think realistically, because I look at this chart, and it's, by 2055, we're still not, with inflation, realistically, we don't have a lot more buying power. So it's not like we're thinking in 10 years, we're gonna have a ton of funds and can just pay for all of this. For me, a priority would be the more flexibility we have to kind of support other volunteer-based groups. Let's get a Boy Scout troop. I was a Boy Scout, we always needed service hours. We went to Redford Union High School and did weeding on flower beds. There are organizations that want to do those things, but I think we need to direct those efforts. And that's something we could probably
Definitely.
develop in the DDA, is really looking for those groups and pulling them in.
Absolutely.
So if that's something that we need to change or add, that would be something I'd want to consider.
My short answer is yes, you
Okay.
can. Now, obviously, but I can provide a little more context than yes. So certainly, you can do those types of things with your DDA funds. You have to decide, is that the best use of your very small amount of money? But volunteers, sponsorships from businesses, things like that, I think the townships relies on that for a lot of different things. But specifically for the DDA, you could do things like sponsorships of flower beds and have, whether it be a family or a business, or sponsor that flower bed and maintain it. Some of the local downtowns that I'm aware of do that same thing. You get a sign in your flower bed, it's sponsored by whoever. But planting flowers and doing cleanups. I like the ideas of local groups like the Boy Scouts or high schools doing cleanup days. Those are things that don't cost a lot of money.
Yeah.
And that can have a big impact. So I think you need to do those types of things when you have limited revenues. You need to look for creative ways to make impacts and to beautify your downtown without spending huge sums of money. So certainly, I think that's something that this plan allows for.
Great.
And something you should continue to focus on over the years.
Okay, thank you.
Treasurer Kavanaugh?
I had a couple questions. Conceptually, has the DDA talked about the expansion of the DDA district? And could you tell me if there's a downside to having to do that?
Yeah. So, I'll handle that. There was discussion of it, just theoretically, but what we run into with expansion of DDA boundaries is at any point, if you decide to expand your DDA boundary, then that allows, if there's anyone from any taxing jurisdictions, close your ears, allows the taxing jurisdictions at that time the opportunity to opt out of the DDA. That's a relatively new law. So when the DDA was created in 1982, that wasn't an option, but that got changed. So if we were to amend the boundary, then that would mean every taxing jurisdiction that's in that taxing jurisdiction table could theoretically opt out of the DDA, meaning we have zero revenue. So the decision was made not to amend the boundary, keep it status quo. Something's better than nothing, I guess. So yeah, that's where we're at now with the laws connected to these DDA boundaries.
Oh, okay. And my second question would be, have you guys talked to the court at all? Have they implemented their work crew again, or are they ever going to?
They have been.
They have.
Yeah.
It's working.
Okay.
They have been.
Okay, haven't seen them, so I wasn't sure.
Yeah, they've done some stuff out here in the parking lot, and I know they've done some stuff with DPS.
Okay, all right, well, good. That's a good thing. Okay, thank you, that's it.
Well, I will say that, we, as far as revenue, we do look for other ways. The banner program is raising revenue that makes it pretty close to cost neutral because everything that goes up, the banners, like for the class, the seniors, for the veterans. She's also got the bags. And talk a minute about that because we are looking to, the DDA is looking as a whole as how to help generate and advertise the DDA at the same time, so.
Without spending our dollars.
Without spending dollars.
So we have at the next meeting, I'll probably have some here to give you, but we have decided to get some shopping bags made. So in the past, we've had shopping bags for the market. They were purchased by the DDA, and then they were either sold for a small amount or, as they kind of dwindled, they were given out. They're the reusable, environmentally friendly shopping bags. We decided to get those done again this year, but we've got our businesses that are located in the DDA, no chains, just our local businesses, to advertise on them. So by them advertising on the bags, we're able to acquire those at no cost, and then we can use them at the market. In addition to that, a couple of our business owners wanted to get shopping bags for the district. So we have another a set of bags that'll be downtown development bags, not just market bags, and they have, I think, 8 or 9 of our local businesses advertising on those. And then some of those businesses will be using them, to give out, whether it's Township Hardware or Kagan Wine. But those are all being done at zero cost to the DDA, but just try to get, some unity in the DDA out there, and, a little bit of excitement, and, reminding people to shop local because they're in the shopping bag with all the businesses on it, and just trying some different ideas to get it, some attention to the area.
And I don't know if anybody knows, it's just the last week or so, I think all the trees, or most of the trees in the
Today they were doing it too, yeah.
DDA were all trimmed up, and that's changed things, the look, because of the decorative lights, now you can see them, the banners that we were putting up, you can see them, and it kind of opens up the area and makes it a little more welcoming than kind of dark and closed in, so.
To the chair.
Yes, Trustee Reese.
I hope I didn't in any way infer that I think we're not doing it. There's a lot of work happening, a lot of great thought going into it. My desire is, I know for myself, right, like when you work on something, then you see it and you care about it. And so I know when I mow my yard, suddenly I'm looking at everybody's lawns, and you become aware of the things you are intentional about. And so I think part of my desire, living right by the DDA, but also wanting to see Redford grow, is that we continue to find creative ways, as much as we can, partnering. That's great. Finding local businesses who want to sponsor things, wonderful. But even getting a little bit more creative, which it sounds like we can do. And so hopefully I can help with those things. But I think the more that we have residents aware that this exists and the potential of it, I think the more things we're going to notice happening there. Because we've had great events. I mean, this last weekend, we had the car show, we had the farmer's market, we had a lot going on. But I think a lot of residents, a lot of people just drive through and they're not aware. And so I think the more you see people out working, the more you see people doing things in the community, I'm hopeful we can see some progress. So thank you.
Okay. Any other questions from the board? Okay, questions from the audience? Anybody want to ask a question about this specific topic?
Can I make a statement? Or just questions?
Well, as long as it's not like the liturgy,
Yeah.
A question, yeah.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Yeah, because everybody needs to hear what you're saying.
I've sat on a DDA for about 4 years now. I'm glad we're finally making some progress there. It's been a hard, long road. Unfortunately, I've had an office there for many, many years, and it's been really a neglected part of town for many, many years. I also believe that you're going to have to bond if you want a downtown area. You're going to have to bond. I know that you don't have the bonding ability because your credit card, as someone has once said, is kind of exhausted, but I think that's what you need to do. With regard to the other items of the flowers and the banners and all that, I think all that's wonderful. I'm all for that. All for the shopping bags. Personally, I'm moving on to do other things. I spent a lot of time here, and I like to spend more of my charitable activities doing other things in town. I'm hopeful, always hopeful that something will be improved, but I just have been here a long time, and I'm sorry that I just don't see it happening downtown because you don't have the political will or the money to do it. The DDA is not a separate entity, as this gentleman has said. It's really
the bylaws has been changed such that the ultimate decisions are always with this board anyway, where it should be logically. But I'm sorry I can't do more here, but I've spent a fair amount of time, and at least we're at the point where you do have a plan, and you're getting $130,000 a year, and hopefully maybe that money will accumulate enough that you'll be able to do some things. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Any other questions or comments from the audience? Any other questions from the board? Hearing none, then a motion is needed to close the public hearing.
Through the chair,
Trustee Reese,
I move to close the public hearing.
Support.
supported by Clerk Sanders. Any discussion? And we're closed.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So now, we'll move on to the consent agenda. Treasurer Kavanaugh.
Thank you, Supervisor McCray. I move to approve the consent agenda items as follows. The minutes for the regular meeting of July 22nd of 2025. The warrant list of bills as of August 6th of 2025 in the amount of $6,227,330.65. Knights of Columbus, Michigan Drive, Tootsie Roll on the Redford Street corners businesses on October 9th through the 12th of 2025. 19th Annual Redford Township Oktoberfest Fall Festival, September 19th through the 20th. Redford Township Hall parking lot and marquee with permission to hang banners over the railroad viaduct located on Beach Daly Road south of Schoolcraft and north of Plymouth from September 10th through the 22nd. The banners will not interfere with any overhead traffic control devices or vehicle pedestrian traffic and will be in compliance with Wayne County regulations.
Support.
And supported by Trustee Taylor. Any questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to new business, Director Mancini. Thank you.
Hello again. So now I'm coming before you to ask for approval for the DDA plan and TIF tax increment financing plan that we, just the subject of our public hearing. So the plan, I provided each of you with a copy, and I would be asking the board to approve that.
Questions from the board? Hearing none, what's the pleasure of the board?
To the chair,
Trustee Jackson.
I move approval of an amendment to the Redford Township Downtown Development Plan and Tax Increment Financing TIF Plan.
Support.
Supported by Treasurer Kavanaugh. So motion is for approval of an amendment to the Redford Township Downtown Development Plan and Tax Increment Financing TIF Plan. Any other discussion? Roll call vote.
Trustee King?
Yes.
Trustee Taylor?
Yes.
Trustee Jackson?
Yes.
Clerk Sanders, yes. Trustee Reese?
Yes.
Treasurer Kavanaugh?
Yes.
Supervisor McCray?
Yes, motion carries. Moving on to new business number 2.
So this is also related. The amendment to the plan is done by ordinance. So I'm here with the first reading of the township ordinance adopting the amended plan. It has been, the document has been prepared with the assistance of Jason Smith and was submitted to our attorneys for review and what's approved.
Questions from the board? Hearing no questions, what's the pleasure of the board?
To the chair,
Trustee Reese.
I move approval of the first reading of the proposed amendment to ordinance number 209, Development and Tax Increment Financing Plan.
Support.
Supported by Trustee Jackson. The motion is for approval of the first reading of proposal of amendment ordinance 209, Development and Tax Increment Financing Program. Any other questions? Roll call vote.
Trustee Jackson?
Yes.
Treasurer Kavanaugh?
Yes.
Trustee Taylor?
Yes.
Trustee King?
Yes.
Trustee Reese?
Yes.
Clerk Sanders, yes. Supervisor McCray?
Yes, motion carries.
Thank
Thank
you,
you very much.
Have a good
day.
Good job. Director Dennis. How are you going to talk with a pin in your mouth?
We'll find a way.
You'll find a way. Find a way.
How are we doing, everybody? Good evening.
Good, thank
Mr.
you.
Supervisor, Honorable Board, in front of you, we kind of have a two-part here, for the first item and then the next action item. So back a few months ago, we did, meet with the board during the board process, and Wayne County was restarting the road paving program that they had for many years, started about 2016, did a handful of roads, and then in 2019, 2020 with COVID, they said, nope, no more, we're not going to do it. And it was basically a project that we would, give them high priority side streets, and they would put down some asphalt and, not too much patch there. It was about 2 to 3 miles. We would choose random areas, try to hit some side streets in the north end, central, and south end. So we've been asking for a handful of years, and the county wasn't moving forward with it. And this past year, we've been beating down the doors, as I think many townships have been. I know that the supervisor was kind of getting in some ears, downtown. And so they have a new director who wanted to bring the program back. So the county came out with a program that stated it had to be a 50-50 matching program now. No more grants. If they're going to put in, if they have, skin in the game, we have to do the same amount for every township. So then at that time, when the board met, Director Bonerick, when everyone was doing the budget, there was money put to the side, so we kind of knew what our side would be. And so we programmed with them, and there was an application that they gave us a handful of days to put together. Why would Wayne County give us any more than that? Sure. It was actually due on Good Friday. So there was a lot of banter with the county. The county chose that day because they were working, we weren't. So we went back and forth. We actually were in on that day and going back and forth, working with Wade Trim, and turned in a pretty good application to the county. We were able to go through, because we've had a kind of a standing list of secondary roadways that we've been monitoring. We've done it's called the PACER rating, which is the federal ratings of our side streets. We did that in 2021. And obviously traveling, some of the roadways. So we did put together a list with some ideas regarding how much money that we had available, with hopefully a county match. So back in April, when we turned it in, we actually turned in about 9 different roadways that were east-west, and then a few north-south streets. There were streets in North Redford, one in Central Redford, and a few in South Redford. They totaled, once we were said and done with the application, was about just under 3. We had when we turned this in April 18th, it was at 3.5 miles, and it was putting asphalt down over concrete. No concrete repairs. It was on their program, and by the way, we will be bidding this out. The county will not be doing the program like they did before. They're putting the onus on us. So we'll have to do a bidding project like we always do. So when they got this, our application, they didn't want to spend as much as we had stated, so they took one roadway off. And so that we went from 3.5 miles, just under 3 miles. And so per our priority of the 9 roadways. Obviously, there are many more than 9 roadways that need to be done. We looked at bus routes, things where we have a lot of traffic, different roadways that are in very bad shape. Secondary streets, obviously, we're not talking about our primary. So it went back and forth, and it was finally, when you deal with the county, as we know, there are always some delays in regards to getting our paperwork. They really want to push us through, push it, but they were not providing an IGA, intergovernmental agreement, in any fashion. And we had our last meeting in July. They didn't get it to me till the Thursday, when the board agenda items were due on the Wednesday. And I kept telling them, we need this because we got to put it in front of the, trend to the clerk's office. So they didn't get to us until it was actually completely finalized days after that as well. So that's why we're finally in front of you at this meeting on August 12th. So in regards to the projects, there are 8 secondary roadways defined by the county per our application, and they are found on page 3 of the IGA itself. I did not bring copies since it was provided via your e-packet. So the first one we're going to be looking to do is Kinlock from 6 Mile to Puritan, which is a very bad roadway heading north and south on that stretch, about a half a mile. Curtis from Delaware to Point Siena, another bus route. Lexington from Curtis to 7 Mile, which just has a lot of potholes. Columbia Street from West Chicago to Cathedral in the south end. Royal Grand, Arnold, and Farley Streets, which are in very, very bad shape, from Plymouth Road to Orange Lawn. I'm sorry, Arnold, Farley, and Marion, they're back-to-back streets. And then Royal Grand from Plymouth to Wadsworth. There is a sunken intersection there, and then you can pave it. It is very bad shape. We had a 9th Street, which was Acacia, from Telegraph to, I think it's Sarasota, but due to the funding and with the county, they struck that off. So there are 8 roadways which are just under 3 miles. Per our proposal, based on what we're looking here for our estimates, the total project, which we estimated would be $1 million, I apologize, $1,050,831. It'd be a 50-50 split with Wayne County and Redford Township. We would be matching $525,415.50. That will include engineering costs, oversight, and the work by the contractor. I am hoping, because they haven't answered that, if we got a very good bid in like we have in some of our recent projects, we'd be able to add on something. Now, one thing I will state, when the county took Acacia off, the director of Wayne County Public Services did say that they would do that as an internal project. He did say that to us. I do have it on this, that it was in a different color, that they would do it themselves, not within this program. So we are hoping that that will occur. So then we'd be able to get that roadway done as well. So Acacia has been paved in the past. It was paved from when it forks between on Linden, when Linden goes to, I guess we'll say this way, going to the left, and Acacia goes to the right. It is paved down, I think, to roughly Sarasota. And then from there, Sarasota to Telegraph, it is not. It's concrete. It's, needs some help as well. So, but this is not to replace any concrete. This is paving over the top. There might have to be some structure with catch basin, but it's not tearing up concrete and putting down concrete. Cannot afford that. That is not something that is in this budget. To be honest with you, this would take probably one stretch of one street at this cost. So at this point, the county put together the IGA. We went through it to verify all the figures, the language, et cetera. Our township attorney did go through it as well prior, and the county has signed off on it. And once it does go through tonight, we will in turn send it back to the county once the township supervisor and clerk signs. That's where the program stands at this time.
I just want to say that we've been hurting for side streets to be taken care of for a long, long time. I know 3 miles doesn't sound like much, but it was quite interesting in the battle to get 3 miles. And we've had talks and promises about other possibilities, but until they come to fruition, it's meaningless. So continue to work with the county road commission, and we try to kind of reach out to Warren Evans and plead our case, and hopefully more funding will come our way. But it's a big deal that we have this back again, and we have something happening. And like Mike said, it's not fixing, it's kind of putting a cap on them. And if we have sunken sewers or something like that, they're fixing those. But It's a temporary fix. It just keeps the road smoother and helps us get through the days. Until they tear everything up and put everything down new, that's when it's fixed. So we're doing the best we can with the county to get the maximum we can out of it, and I think we're doing a pretty good job of it. And I just want to interject that, people are complaining about 5 Mile, which is not on this project. And I will tell you that Director Dennis, when he saw that 5 Mile was being paved on the other side of Inkster and Livonia, we about lost our mind. And Mr. Dennis got on the phone with the county and said, look, why aren't you coming down the extra mile? I mean, you're here anyway. And he did a little song and dance, and they go, well, the bridge. And their story is that the bridge down there, which they've been talking about replacing for several years now, and haven't done it.
Yep.
They said the equipment would be too heavy on the bridge, and they were feared that it would collapse. So that wasn't the end of it. So then Mike says, well, go up to the first street before the bridge and the first street after the bridge. And when you do the bridge, then you can do the rest. I mean, do it. Well, then their excuse, at least up to this point, was there was no place to turn or to move the equipment through, and they couldn't see a way to have, pardon me?
On the east side.
On the east side.
On the east side. Oh, west side, we could take Belt Creek Drive, but east side, they can't drive through the neighborhoods.
Right, so that's their excuse now. I mean, I think the equipment goes in reverse, but I don't know.
I was assured that it was coming all the way to Beach Daily, and they were doing it, and then someone saw it and says, no. There's a weight limit on that bridge due to the factor of it right now, and it's going to be replaced. I still can't get a date when it's going to be replaced. We've been working on it for 3 years. I mean, we already moved a water main for this.
So I think that, it's important to know that this is happening too. And if we're 5 Mile that is from Beach Daily to Telegraph, which is probably the worst stretch of 5 Mile we have, is that it's not just they can't just cut and cap it. It has to be what is this called?
Engineering project.
An engineering project means that road's going to get tore up. So we have some promises, and they're only good when they come to fruition, like I said. But we also know that we can't start that part of the project till we get the CSO done. Because if for some unknown reason they go, let's do it today, by the time we get the basin done, the road's going to be beat to heck anyway. So, by doing it this way, we're giving them time to plan it, and hopefully they will fulfill. But, that's where we are with that. So I don't mean to digress. I just know that 5 Mile is a big deal, and I've been hearing it from residents about why are they doing Livonia and not Redford. And that's the reasoning behind it. I don't think it's necessarily a good reason, but it's their reason. So, anyway.
If I could add to that?
Treasurer.
Just
Yep.
to let you know, they are supposed to be paving Schoolcraft. I think I brought it up before. That is a project doing in-house from Inkster Telegraph, both east and westbound, both lanes. That is something they really want to get done. So it's not 5 Mile Road, but it is something and they're trying to look at other things as well.
Yeah. Treasurer Kavanaugh.
I just had a quick question. On the motion, we don't have to mention the amount or where it's coming from?
No,
Okay,
it's already-
because
it's already
within
explained in
it's
the
within there.
IGA.
Okay, it's on page 7. Okay,
Yep.
thank you.
No problem.
To the chair.
Okay. Trustee Taylor.
Mike, I have a couple of concerns that make me want to say no. One is blacktop over cement. Like, this sounds like a really cheap fix that is going to look like crap and isn't going to, how is a blacktop going to smoothly meld into cement that has already been there forever? And what's the longevity of throwing blacktop? As we know, pothole haven in wintertime with blacktop. I mean, can you tell me that this is going to be our path, $500,000 for blacktop patch over cement? Doesn't sound like a great investment.
We've been doing this for 12 years, everywhere. We've been doing, that's what the county's been doing, is if you look at anything with asphalt on an existing concrete, neighborhood, it's asphalt laid over the top of the county.
And it's done well and it's held up. I don't know of any streets.
I'm not doing the work, I'm not going to tell you it's done well. I would hope it is.
Well, we're doing the work
Engineers,
this time,
but-
right? We're doing it?
We are specking it out, so we will do it as much we can, and it is milled out. So let's say, for example, if you have concrete here, let's say, and they're gonna mill it down, so when the concrete comes, or asphalt comes in, it's gonna mill, so it's just, it's not gonna be above it, it's gonna be milled down, so it's.
Seamless.
Goes, yes, it goes right down this, so it'll be thicker at the end, so it'll just be a smooth transition. So it's
You're
a
not gonna have a bunch
transition.
of like whoops
No,
and
no, I mean,
things
you
like
have some,
that.
yeah, you probably will. You have whoops on Beach Daily. Inkster Road right now, that they just paved, milled and paved, it's the same thing. They didn't really do much cutout, they just paved right over the top of it.
You're not convincing me that we
I
should be
can't-
spending
I can't-
$500,000 on this intergovernment agreement, that this is gonna be like,
It's not,
"Ooh, we're so glad this
it's not
is
a
done."
permanent fix.
Okay.
It's not.
But pothole repairs are the same thing. I mean, I have I call Wayne County for the holes on my street, and they come and fill them. They last a year or two, and that doesn't cost us anything. Are these beyond that?
Yeah, this is gonna be brand new asphalt over the top.
You know, I mean, like the
3 months.
damage to these roads that are being paved, they're beyond any kind of like pothole repair.
No, are they beyond pothole repair?
That's my question.
Yeah.
Yes, probably.
Probably.
Yeah. But, I mean, our roads are mainly 60, 70, 80 years old.
Yeah.
Built by the people who built the subdivisions.
Right.
And we are right now putting a Band-Aid on it. Yes, we are.
It's an expensive
There's-
Band-Aid.
There's no other options.
Where's the 500,000 coming from out the budget? I'm sorry, Mike. Adam?
Trustee Taylor, it was in the year-end budget amendment, I asked you guys, we set aside 500,000 into the capital fund. So
So it's coming out of the capital fund?
Yes.
Okay.
And I do want to interject is that all of that is our money. Even though the county's saying, we pay taxes into the road funds for the county.
And
So
then we
all
have
of
to
it,
pay for it back.
well, but what I'm saying, in effect, it's all our money, but the Beach Daily's been done the same way, 5 Mile of Livonia's being done the same way. I mean, because roads have been not taken care of for so long, that this is the best way. And when they grind it, they put like kind of, I call them grooves of some sort, when they cut it. Yeah, and so that helps it adhere. But as far as the potholes, it's not the same thing as the potholes at all. I mean, they're just throwing stuff in there.
Will this raise the road and cause potential flooding in people's front yards by putting the blacktop over the?
No, it's not going to do, it's adding, 2 to 3 inches of asphalt on the top.
Yep.
And that's it, it's not going to flood anybody's
It's not
front
gonna
yard, it's
flood.
not concrete surface. We're not taking up any existing asphalt on the roads that were done, 15, 20 years ago. We are only doing, we are capping off existing concrete roads that are within this plan, and that's what we're doing. We're putting asphalt over the top to make them smoother, better traveled.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just safer. You won't, I mean, it is asphalt, it is Michigan, it's winter, with our winters here. But, I mean, but this is the process, Trustee Taylor, we've been doing, the township has in the county since, they started this in 2013, 2012. Different roadways, if you looked at the area around Old Bowman School, Fox and Denby and other streets over there. The last year we did this was in 2019, Southwestern, from Hemingway to Sioux. We did that because that was measured. Hemingway itself, from roughly Southwestern all the way to, I want to say, short of West Chicago was done. Fenton Street from Plymouth Road to West Chicago. They've done all those, different stretches. The township would guide them, and then the work would get done by the county through the old township road plan.
And they've held
Township
up.
road program.
That work's held up?
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, they will come back, and they did Southwestern, they'll come back a year or two later, and then they seal coat, crack fill, any cracks are coming up. They did that on Southwestern, we did 2019, 2021, 22, they come back, assess them, and then they'll do crack filling to, just like they do on Beach Daily a year. Inkster Road was done in 22, 23, and then they always come back the next year, and they backfill what's needed.
Okay.
Mr. Chair,
Trustee Jackson.
I do find it interesting that they're doing the Livonia side versus the Redford side. Livonia is a city, so they get to collect their own road money.
Yeah.
Because we're a township, Wayne County has our money. So I would think that our roads for Wayne County would have priority over a city road. So isn't the city responsible for their own roads?
On the primary roadway, there is a funding mechanism. Like even on these programs, you can use some millage dollars, but in regards to their federal dollars, the county does pave their major roadways. So on, through their program. The city of Livonia does have a road millage, and they're doing their side streets. So on the primary roadways, the county does still do programming for them.
They only do this once every few years, but they collect our tax money for this every year. Does anybody, and Director Bonerick, this might be a question that you might have an answer to. Do we have any idea how much of our money they collect and how much we actually get back from those collections?
We don't. I mean, the Act 51 money comes from gas taxes, so it's not as simple to say like what exactly is coming from Redford, right? Because it's like you could look at what the taxes are that are generated by the gas stations that are in Redford, but not all of the gas that is purchased at the gas stations is being purchased by Redford residents, right? So like it isn't that simple of a formula. It is like pulling teeth to get anyone from Lansing or the county to give you the breakdown of how much money did they receive from the state for Act 51 and how have they apportioned it out. So we don't have any way of knowing whether or not we're receiving our fair portion, no.
And it is an irritation that we have to fight to get anything done with our own money.
Yep. If I can add too, they do use these funds also to take down the trees, through forestry funds, some obviously road maintenance, patching work, some stormwater activities that they're doing with catch basins. So it's just not road paving. They use a lot of the money to fund other things, and they do keep track of what they spend that's why when we have that toll-free number that we always give out through their hotline, they're tracking through these incident numbers now where, how many runs from forestry are coming out, how many trees that we've taken down or trimmed, catch basins, other runs, things of that nature, paving. So they are, as far as I understand, have been told that's how they track what they're spending here in the township.
Do they still have that outside company taking down dead trees for us?
Yes. Yep. Tree Man Tree Service, it's called, yes.
The other thing, if I may just add briefly, is that we have seen more and more townships have been asking their voters to adopt road millages for those townships, which seems really counterproductive because now those residents are paying twice. They're paying the millage that's being collected for the roads, and they're paying the gas taxes. They're paying both.
Well, any other questions?
To the chair.
Trustee Reeves.
Director Dennis, when would the work start on this? Obviously, we have to bid it out. Is it this year or this is for next year?
I would love to get done this year. I don't think we
Yeah.
have enough time.
Yeah.
I really don't. If they would have did this when they said they wanted to do this, we could have had this last month.
Yeah.
It still has to go to the Wayne County Commission I told them I would send it to them tomorrow. I don't see us getting it done this year. I know that's not what the supervisor wanted to hear either. But I told him that last week, so I'm not looking at him. But I would love to. We've been discussing how we can ramp it up. There's just not enough time in the paving season to get this work done. Now, we'll be ready to go in the spring, have it, bid it out. It also depends how fast that the county's doing their part of their work too. Because they're not going to charge the permits, but they want to review everything and go through the process. So the county doesn't move, as fast as we open times.
Okay, yeah, thank you. And then one other question, which I'm pretty sure the answer. All the road work for CSO Basin restoration, that's all in that budget, right? So all the roads that were torn up, the asphalt on, okay, great.
And that'll get 4 inches, 2 inches of a base coat and then the, running coat. And that will be done. We're not going to do it, just to let you know, because I know it'll be asked down the road. They're going to put the base coat back when they're kind of finishing up, and they won't come back to do the finish coats, the running coat, until we're all done.
Complete, okay.
So probably, yeah, 2027 roughly.
Okay.
Not kind of wood.
Yeah, yes. Other questions from the board? Well, we all know how we feel about our roads and where our money goes. But I think that we have something we haven't had for a while, and if we have to continue on this track until we figure something better, and we're gonna squeeze more money out of them, then that's what we'll do. I'm just glad we have it back because it hasn't been for a long time. So,
To the chair.
Treasurer Kavanaugh.
I move for the approval of the intergovernmental agreement between Redford Township and Wayne County regarding the local partnering initiative for the township roads for local road improvements of 2025.
Support.
Supported by trustee Jackson. So the motion on the floor is for approval of the intergovernmental agreement IGA between Redford Township and Wayne County regarding the local partnering initiative for the township roads for local road improvements 2025. Any other questions? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Trustee Jackson?
Yes.
Trustee Reese?
Yes.
Clerk Sanders, yes. Treasurer Kavanaugh?
Yes.
Trustee King?
Yes.
Trustee Taylor?
No.
Supervisor McCray?
Yes, motion carries. Mr. Dennis, number 4 is yours.
The county was also requiring us to do a resolution for this work. I'm still wondering why, but they were very adamant about it and wanted us to prepare one. So I went ahead and prepared for them. So this is just stating that this is some language taken right out of the IGA, that this is a resolution between Charter Township, Redford, and County of Wayne, intergovernmental agreement, Township Roads, Local Road Improvements Program 2025. That Redford Township shall contribute 50% of the project cost, county shall contribute up to 50% of the same project cost. Agree to perform only the portion of local road improvement project will fall within the $1,050,831,000 budget. And the Township Redford will maintain detailed records of the Township Roads Local Road Improvement Program. That's all it states. So kept it very simple and to the point, and hoping the board will approve the resolution as presented.
Questions from the board? Hearing none, what's the pleasure of the board?
Mr. Chair,
Trustee King.
I move approval of the resolution approving the intergovernmental agreement between Redford Township and Wayne County regarding the local partnering initiative for township roads for local road improvements program in Redford Township.
Support.
Supported by Treasurer Kavanaugh. The motion on the floor is for approval of the resolution approving the intergovernmental agreement between Redford Township and Wayne County regarding the local partnering initiative for the township roads for local road improvement program in Redford Township. Any other questions? Roll call vote.
Trustee Reese?
Yes.
Trustee King?
Yes.
Clerk Sanders, yes. Trustee Taylor?
No.
Treasurer Kavanaugh?
Yes.
Trustee Jackson?
Yes.
Supervisor McCray?
Yes, motion carries. Mr. Dennis.
Give me 1 second. I can do all this away.
Oh.
So, other stuff's over there.
Yeah, we're just going too fast for you.
Well, the chair's too far away. So, 1 second. Jeopardy music. Mr. Supervisor, in front of you is a memo requesting recommendation of a contractor, which involves the completing of the replacement installation of new meter interface units throughout the community, approximately 20,000, 21,000 properties. This was bid out. We received our bids back in June, July, and we did receive 6 different companies submit bids for this project. This is for the it's the installation only. The board did meet back a few months ago and did approve the cost for the replacement units, which will come directly from Ferguson, as that was a separate approval. Then we in turn were approving the RFP to go out to bid for the installation portion of this only. We did receive bids from 6 different companies across the country. There was one local bidder only, which was the highest bidder. It is our recommendation that this bid be awarded to Second Straight Systems, 12949 Mauer Industrial Drive in St. Louis, Missouri. And it would be in the amount of $588,000. There, like I said before, there was 6 bids, 588, 699,720, and then the all 4 next ones jumped over $1 million. They propose to have 2 to 3 workers here working, just starting, go, and then they'll finish up. And then we're going to try to go right into the next season, do the same thing, and then do again. So they'll just keep working. We have this project broken into districts, 3 districts, basically from 8 Mile to 6 Mile to Schoolcraft to Plymouth Road. There's so it's called District 1, District 2, and District 3. District 3 will go first. And then we're going to jump to District 2, which is less, and then District 1 will have more. So we're kind of jumping there. That is how we proposed this. It was a very competitive bid. They have worked across the country, and most of these companies obviously have. They all had very big reference sheets to check on them. And again, we had bidders from St. Louis, from Ohio, Florida, Illinois, Kentucky, and Canton. And the Canton bidder was at $1.55 million, and he's the closest one. And the next bidder was at $588,000. So we were hoping the board would approve this bid for Second Straight Systems out of St. Louis, Missouri.
Questions from the board?
To the chair.
Treasurer Kavanaugh.
Mike, did you ever find out whether or not you were going to be able to tag our equipment?
Ferguson was still looking into it. They thought they could, but it would be very, very, very small. I know if it's something we want to do, because the units are only so big. They don't think it would be something that you'd be able to see, but the service rep was still seeing if it was something they could get a demo for us.
Oh,
To see if they can show it to you.
Because I saw them, the units, and they were bigger than that.
No, they're not. They're on the outside of the house. They're
I know.
very small.
I know.
Yeah.
I've been in the DPS, so.
Yeah, fine,
Okay.
yeah, but-
Okay, no,
but
I just wanted to find out.
His thing was, it wasn't have a tag, but if there's something could be on it, he was looking to see if it's stamped, and they were looking into it. So
Okay.
we've had 2 conversations at least about it, and they said that some other stuff I also asked about it as well.
Okay, I
And
appreciate
we also asked if there could be a tag hanging from it, but then he said if you do that, people are going to
Yeah.
come off.
Okay,
So
no, I appreciate that. Keep me posted.
we have spoke with Steve. His name is
Okay.
Steve Daniel.
Okay, yeah,
Service
thank you.
rep, yep.
Mike, once the project starts, how long do you anticipate time to finish?
3 years.
3-year project?
Yes, we're going to do 1 year, 2 years. So then
Okay.
we're looking to get a small bond. It's a different act called Act 99 money. Director Bonerick and I and our staff are looking into it. But we did it so it could go over 3 seasons, so less money coming out of the budget instead of one big pocket of money. Plus, that's an awful lot to do over one full season also, so we thought we could do 3.
To the chair.
Trustee Jackson.
Director Dennis, were all of these companies bidding with the exact same material specs?
Yes. Yep. One bid package. It was varied between District 1, 2, and 3. We asked for by year, and they all bid it based on, because we said there was, 79, give me 1 second. There was, year 1, there was 8,400 units in year 1, 57 in year 2, and 6,900 in year 3. So we even put down how many units were in each district as well. and then how much would be to install, and that was
Same
residential and
material,
commercial.
I mean, the exact same package.
Same product.
In each house.
Yeah. The same unit in your house will be in Director Bonneric's and Trustee Taylor's instead of mine. Yep.
It's just interesting to see that bigger spread with the exact same material specs.
Agreed.
Any other questions from the board? Seeing no other questions, what's the pleasure of the board?
To the chair,
Trustee Jackson.
I move approval of the bid recommendation for meter interface MIU replacement and installation project to be awarded to Second Straight Systems, St. Louis, Missouri, zip code 63127, in the amount of $588,000 to be paid from Fund 592, the Water Department.
Support.
Support by Trustee Reese. So the motion on the floor is approval of the bid recommendation DPS meter interface unit MIU replacement and installation project be awarded to Second Sight Systems, St. Louis, Missouri, 63127, in the amount of $588,000 to be paid for from Fund 592 Water Department. Any other questions? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Trustee Taylor?
Yes.
Trustee Reese?
Yes.
Trustee Jackson?
Yes.
Trustee King?
Yes.
Clerk Sanders? Yes. Treasurer Kavanaugh?
Yes.
Supervisor McCray?
Yes, motion carries.
Thank you all.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you.
Next
Thank you.
is our Senior and Veterans Coordinator, Sydney Sykes.
Good evening, Honorable Board. I'll make it short and sweet for you guys. I'm here on behalf of Redford Township's Dial-A-Ride program, which is our curb-to-curb service for Redford residents. We assist seniors, adults to doctor's appointments, work, leisure activities as well. So tonight, I'm seeking approval for the SMART contract, the municipal credit contract, in the amount of $46,331, and the community credits contract in the amount of $98,503 for the SMART fiscal year 2026. So we manage the day-to-day operations, but SMART helps, and we are partnered with them. So just seeking approval for those credits to help fund our Dial-A-Ride program. Thank you.
Questions from the board?
To the chair,
Treasurer Kavanaugh.
can you explain what the community credit is?
So I may have to defer to Teresa Stokes as well to help me, but
That's all right.
my impression is that the municipal credit is it's encompassed within the contract. So the community, here, let's actually look at the actual document for you. One moment. Okay, so for the community credit funds, we have the $98,503, which, Teresa, if you don't mind coming to help me, I'm sorry. This is my first one that I'm doing, can you tell? Oh, sorry.
That's okay. So both of them, the community credit and also the municipal credit, they have very specific guidelines that they can be used for, and basically they're just general operations. They can also offset some of our specific capital purchases that we do through there as well. So there's a manual that goes through, but once we're basically reimbursed on a lot of the SMART stuff is per ride. So when, at the end of each month, we accumulate all of our rides for the entire month, and then we have to send in specific reports to SMART themselves, and then they look at all of our reports, and then they basically reimburse based on what we have given them. So they don't fund all of our expenses, which is why you'll see that we do have the millage. The millage part, do we have a millage? Yes, millage. I'm like, is that what we call it? So the millage fund that comes in for that as well. And then we also have offset from community block grant funds, and then some general fund as well. So we've talked about this, I know that Adam has brought it up, that we're concerned that sometimes this doesn't always equal out, which is why we're looking at some other alternative funding mechanisms with this, and to make sure that we're there. But this part was smart, really offsets a lot of that. And then, the good news is that, hopefully in fall, we're getting our new buses with them, so we will spend less on maintenance, because they also deduct some of that off of there too, so.
Okay, well, thank you for the explanation, and just really quickly, Adam, this is the DAR, what's the GL? Does that have to be on there as well?
You mean to accept the funds?
Oh, I see, okay.
Yeah, so we're
Yeah,
accepting funds from
We're
them.
accepting
Right, but it would
funds,
go
so-
into the DAR?
Yeah, I mean, they have their own fund.
Yeah, 288.
288.
288,
So you can
okay.
add Fund 288 if you like.
Okay,
Thank you.
all right, thank you. No,
Thank you.
excellent, thanks.
Okay. Any other questions from the board? I just want to say, before we go to the vote, that I've heard nothing but good things about the Sydney.
Thank you.
These seniors love the things you're doing down there. It's a very exciting time for them, and they're happy to go.
Yeah.
And, I've been down there a few meetings, and they're full. People have turned out in bigger numbers because you're offering more opportunity, and I think they like you.
I hope so. We've got our senior picnic. 150 seniors will be with us tomorrow, which is awesome. So, thank you. I appreciate that.
Oh, you're quite welcome. So, any other questions from the board about this particular item? If not, need a motion?
To the chair.
Clerk Sanders.
I move to approve the Smart Municipal Credits contract in the amount of $46,331, and the Community Credits contract in the amount of $98,503 for Smart fiscal year 26.
Support.
Are we in the Fund 288? No,
Yeah, that was the,
Pardon me?
yes, that's
Okay.
what needs to be added, GL, or
Fund
either
288.
288.
From Fund 288.
Support.
Supported by Treasurer Kavanaugh. So the motion is to for approval of the Smart Municipal Credits contract in the amount of $46,331 and a community credit contract in the amount of $98,503 for Smart fiscal year 2026 out of Fund 288.
It's not really out of, it'd be into.
Okay. We're getting money.
Well,
We'll get it right.
Okay,
get it right.
into, okay. Okay. Any other discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Treasurer Kavanaugh.
Yes.
Clerk Sanders, yes. Trustee Jackson.
Yes.
Trustee Reese.
Yes.
Trustee Taylor. Yes. Trustee King.
Yes.
Supervisor McCray.
Yes, motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next is item number 7, Clerk Sanders, the floor is yours.
I want to take this time to announce that Redford has a new deputy clerk. That new deputy clerk is Rachel Caesar, and I am excited to present this opportunity to her, as she has proven an amazing work ethic. She is collaborative, not only within our office, but within the township as a whole. She is self-sufficient, and anything I give her, she takes it and makes it her own. So at this point, I am looking for the approval for the deputy clerk employment agreement for Rachel Caesar at a grade 4, step 1.
Well, I just want to say that I think that we're very fortunate that we keep seeming to find diamonds in the rough, and I think you have one.
Definitely.
When you talk and call the clerk's office and ask Rachel for something, I tell everybody the same thing. As you're telling her what you want, before you get done, she's already sent it to you. I mean, she is an exceptional hire, and I think this is a good job.
Yeah, and I'm excited. I'm excited that we could retain internal talent and move forward with that, and just keep the efficiency of the clerk office moving forward. So I'm excited.
Anything else from the rest of the board?
To the chair.
Well, Treasurer Kavanaugh, this
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I just wanted to make a comment. I absolutely agree with everybody here, and she has been very easy to work with. We get everything extremely quickly, like the supervisor said, but congratulations for this too. It's going to be good. That's it.
Trustee Reese.
Just a clarifying question, which I think is probably pretty obvious, but this is replacing Deputy Clerk Burr, is that correct? This is not in addition, okay.
That is correct.
And then this pay grade is the same as previous deputy clerks, or is it different?
No, it is not.
The pay grade is the
For
same,
step,
the
or-
step is not
Okay.
though. He was one step higher at the time he was appointed
Okay.
because he had been serving as the deputy for several months at that
Yep.
point.
Okay, thank you.
Other questions from the board? Hearing none, what's the pleasure of the board?
To the chair,
Trustee Jackson.
I move approval of the deputy clerk employment agreement for Rachel CC at grade 4, step 1. Congratulations.
Support by Trustee Taylor. So the motion on the floor is for the approval of the deputy clerk employment agreement for Rachel. I keep calling it Cece, but it's not. Okay. Cece at the grade 4, step 1. Any other questions? Roll call vote.
Trustee King?
Yes.
Trustee Taylor?
Yes.
Trustee Jackson?
Yes.
Clerk Sanders, yes. Trustee Reese?
Yes.
Treasurer Kavanaugh?
Yes.
Supervisor McCray?
Yes, and I have talked to Clerk Sanders, and she's agreed that at this point, before we close the meeting, that she's going to go down there in front of the flag there and swear in our new deputy clerk. So if one of the directors, or two of the directors that have phones can take pictures, that would be great.
Look, she is.
Chief's got it.
Okay.
I figure, they take photos for me, so.
There you go. There you go.
Sorry. I was doing this.
Do you solemnly swear?
Hold on, stand by. She's slow. Okay.
Squared up on the floor.
Okay. I, raise your right hand, please. I, Rachel Searcy, do solemnly swear that I support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of this state, and I will faithfully perform the duties of the office of the clerk office in and for the Township of Redford,
Of the clerk's office and the Township of Redford,
County of Wayne,
County of Wayne,
State of Michigan,
State of Michigan,
according to the best of my abilities,
according to the best of my abilities.
so help me God.
So help me God.
Turn and smile, so I don't get yelled at. Thank you.
That's great.
No,
I know, they like
they'll have to get over it. I don't know, I wouldn't think so. There'll be an opening.
Still have to show that, right?
Okay,
Yeah, she's got to say something. Say something.
that's up to the clerk, it's her person.
Ah.
Oh, okay. Make sure you're talking to Mike.
Pronounce your last name. Yes, please.
Yeah.
Cece.
I've never been on the side of this.
Okay.
Good evening, Honorable Board. My name is Rachel Seaside. Yeah. You can say it how.
Seaside.
It's okay. People have been pronouncing it wrong my whole entire life. I don't take offense. It's totally okay. I want to begin by saying that I am grateful for this opportunity. I am honored by your confidence and trust in me. I am excited to support the clerk's office and serving our residents. My goal is to make sure our records are accurate, ensure that we are holding elections that are smooth and transparent, and we are providing the public with clear communication about the services we offer.
want to say. I look forward to continuing to work closely with the clerk and this board to maintain the highest standards of integrity and service. I am ready and excited to get to work, and I had a whole thing. I can't even something.
You're doing
To
good.
contribute to the success of this township.
There you go. Thank you so much and congratulations. Announcements from the board. Okay. Hearing none, I just have one, and there's flyers up here. We're having a benefit for the Goodfellas. It's called Stand Up. It's over at Mickno's this Saturday at 7:30. Tickets are $30. All the money that is collected goes to the Redford Goodfellas for the kids here in Redford. We have 3 comedians that are really good. The food over there is pretty good. That's on you, the food and drink. So I usually tell people if you're gonna come a little bit earlier so you can have something to eat and then you can relax. We usually have a full house. So, you know, it's really a good time and it's for a very good cause. And it helps a lot of people that you may know or that you see on Thanksgiving weekend standing out there selling newspapers either in the rain or the snow because they're out there doing their part too. So we've been doing this for a few years now. Please, you can go on PayPal and buy tickets. You can show up and we'll take your money at the door. However you can get there. Please do come. It's a very worthy cause and one that's been going on here in the township for generations. So with that, with no further business, flyers up here for anybody who wants one. This meeting's adjourned.
Thank you.